So there you are, soy-facing with your eyeballs pressed directly up against your monitor, fist-clenched, tears streaming down your face as you make the hardest decision of your life. Should you buy an older LG C4 OLED on sale or the brand new LG C5 for PC or console gaming? Well, good news, because it's time to unclench your cheeks, as I've got all the information you need. Let's get this one right out of the way. The LG C5 is noticeably and undoubtedly a better display than the LG C4. However, as you might expect, it's not a monumental leap. During my time reviewing the LG C5, I can tell you that just visually, not even looking at the data, while it was noticeably brighter and did have less issues on my unit with green or pink tinting off angle, as well as my unit seemed to have less banding on gray screens, all those same issues I just mentioned, they're still present to some extent, and the brightness leap over the LG C4 is just not gonna blow your socks off. The LG C5 basically matches the LG C4 in window brightness measurements. It has higher full screen brightness. However, my particular unit actually had a lower 10% window brightness result. Now, in real games, real content at least, I did notice that the LG C5 was consistently brighter than the LG C4. And you can see here in the measurements, 783 nits on a peak highlight versus 678 on the LG C4, and the ground in this Baldur's Gate 3 scene was also a tad bit higher. But as you noticed, yeah, it's not a massive difference. So you might be thinking, all right, the LG C4 is available far cheaper than the LG C5. In fact, right now the C4 is $999, whereas the C5 is $1399. And sure, the C5 is a bit better, but they're both 4K, 144 Hz, OLED panels with the same excellent glossy finish. And you might be thinking, I feel like buying the LG C5 would be coping and grasping, but you might be wrong, because it depends. Sure, the C5 isn't going to have you busting a fat one in comparison to the C4. However, there is one thing it does way better than the C4, and I did confirm this with LG. They have absolutely fixed color brightness in game mode. Now, if you're going to use this only as a TV, who cares, right? But fellas, we're talking about using it probably mainly as a PC monitor or for console gaming, and you're going to have it in game mode all the time, because if it's not in game mode, that means you're going to be getting higher latency. So you're basically forced into using the game mode. Well, and if you're forced into it, you better be getting the full color performance. And you might be wondering, well, how big of a difference can it really be? Well, you better stop asking stupid questions. Okay, in all seriousness, yes, it is actually a pretty big difference between the C4 and the C5 in game mode, and it is genuinely noticeable. There's just a ton of color missing on the LG C4 in comparison, and you just can't get that back without doing goofy stuff in filmmaker mode, which will increase the latency slightly. You don't have that issue on the LG C5. So look, if you're gonna be picking up an LG OLED to mainly use for gaming, especially in the 42-inch size, knowing that game mode is fixed, I would have to recommend you pick up the LG C5 over the LG C4, even if the price is way higher. That being said, if you go to the store and you look at the two and you feel like it's not that big of a difference, sure, save the money, pick up the LG C4. And to be honest with you, they're both excellent displays. So regardless of which one you want to buy, I will have affiliate links in the description below for your convenience as well as my benefit once you figure out which one you want to go for. And if you're still undecided, I'll have links in the description below as well to both my LG C4 and LG C5 reviews. But that's going to do it for this one, and make sure you get subscribed for everything else display related here on The Display Guy. Whether you're looking to connect a new console, gaming PC, or just need a fast and reliable HDMI cable to connect over long distances, Rupro has you covered with their certified 8K HDMI 2.1 fiber optic cable, available in sizes up to 50 feet and can deliver a perfect full 48 gigabits per second connection over distances other cables could only dream of reaching. And now Rupro's offering a new detachable and upgradable pure fiber cable that sends the same 48 gigabits per second signal through its ultra thin and flexible housing, making it easier to route through walls. So if you're in the market for a cable that can drive a beautiful new TV or monitor, be sure to check out Rupro on Amazon today.